Yo, what's up you guys, it's K8 here, and welcome to the first video of 2016. So, we're going to start the year off on a really easy trick. So I call this the parallel processing of the kicktail only trick, because it's parallel processing in the way that we're going to duplicate our kicktail and process it and mix it back in with the original. So, very similar to a lot of parallel drum processing. So, what I like to do for that is I like to separate the attack and the body or the tail of the kick. Then I'll duplicate that, and I'll delete the attack from this one. I'll lower the volume here on the original kick tail about 6 dB lower, so that way I can have some room to mix in the other tail. And once I've done that, I'll also make sure that I bring down the second duplicated track about 12 dB lower than the original. So if this is at -12, I'll put it at -24. And that's just because I know it's going to be processed, and I don't want the kick to feel louder after a certain point. I want it to still feel like one kick. Some of the things I recommend are things like sausage fattener, because it's a saturator limiter. So those two things separately are really great for kick processing. And then I would also recommend saturators, EQs if you want to bring out certain frequencies. You really go nuts with it. It's parallel processing, so you can destroy the signal as much as you want and just mix it back in, and that will still add something to the original sound, of course. But of course, depending on what you do, it might sound good or bad. So let's find a saturator and let's add that in. So I'll bring down the dry wet to at least halfway, add some drive, and of course the more you fool around with this, like if I go for different shapes or play a little bit more with the bass frequencies and all those kind of things, I can get something better. So now let's just hear this on and off and compare it. Alright, so now let's just hear everything together and see how it feels. Alright, so again, this example isn't a good way to sell this technique because it doesn't sound very good, authentic, or true to the genre, but that's kind of the point. I wanted to take a kick that wouldn't work with this to show you kind of what it could possibly lead to with the right kick sample and all that. So now I'll show it to you on a kick sample that would sound much better than this. So I just wanted to show you on a crappy sample and then show you this whole thing again on a good sample. Alright, so now we have a good sample, one that doesn't suck, and we can now process this one in the same way. So as you can see, it's a really easy way to process and focus the part of the kick that you want to sound fatter and all that kind of stuff, and more distorted, whatever you need it to be. So I feel like this is a lot better of a process than I see most people take, where they process the kick entirely all together, attack and the body, and it doesn't really work out favorably, I think. I think if you want to make a more focused or distorted kick tail, then focus just on that part and not the entire sample. So that's the technique, parallel processing of the kick tail only stuff thingy. And thanks guys for watching, and of course, Slates.